Welcome to our Trump briefing program. Today, we dive into the escalating tensions between Russia and Ukraine as they exchange drone strikes overnight, all while a potential ceasefire hangs in the balance. President Putin's vague response to the proposed truce has left many questioning Russia's commitment, and Ukrainian President Zelenskyy is not holding back on warnings of a strong response if the situation doesn't improve. In other news, the Trump administration is gearing up to deport around 300 alleged gang members to El Salvador, marking a significant move in U.S. immigration policy. This controversial agreement has raised eyebrows as El Salvador prepares to house these individuals in its prison system, amidst a crackdown on gang violence that has seen thousands arrested. The specifics of their identification as gang members remain unclear, adding to the complexity of this situation. Finally, in a twist of political drama, Donald Trump's backed spending bill has passed, but not without sparking fierce opposition from House Democrats. As Trump launches investigations into alleged corruption and seeks to expedite deportations, the political landscape is becoming increasingly polarized. Stay tuned for more details on these unfolding stories. The Toronto Star reports that overnight, Russia and Ukraine engaged in intense aerial assaults, with both nations reporting over 100 enemy drones flying across their territories. This escalation occurred shortly after Russian President Vladimir Putin discussed a potential 30-day ceasefire with U.S. envoy Steve Witkoff. While Putin expressed a general agreement to the truce, he laid out numerous conditions for it to be finalized, leading to skepticism from Ukrainian officials about Russia's commitment. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy reiterated support for the ceasefire during talks with Western allies, but warned that Russia might try to manipulate the negotiations with additional demands. Despite these diplomatic efforts, Zelenskyy accused Moscow of increasing military presence along the border, suggesting that Russia aims to prolong the conflict. In a separate development, the Trump administration is preparing to deport approximately 300 alleged gang members to El Salvador, as reported by the Toronto Star. This agreement, involving a payment of $6 million to El Salvador for housing these individuals in its prisons, marks a significant step in U.S. immigration policy. El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele has been cracking down on gang violence, leading to the arrest of over 84,000 individuals since 2022. The U.S. has identified these deportees as members of the Tren de Aragua gang, which Trump has labeled a terrorist organization. The arrangement also includes the transfer of 2 members of the notorious MS-13 gang, highlighting the ongoing collaboration between the two nations in addressing gang-related issues. The Independent highlights that a Trump-backed spending bill successfully passed the Senate just before a government shutdown deadline, despite opposition from House Democrats. The bill received support from a few Senate Democrats, which sparked outrage among party members, including Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Meanwhile, Trump has been vocal about his political adversaries, accusing the Biden administration of conducting politically motivated investigations against him. Additionally, Trump is reportedly planning to invoke the Alien Enemies Act to accelerate the deportation process for undocumented immigrants, a key promise from his campaign. This push for mass deportations comes amid legal challenges for his administration, including a ruling that requires reinstating thousands of employees dismissed by his administration. The Independent reports that Tesla, under the leadership of CEO Elon Musk, has expressed concerns regarding retaliatory tariffs in a letter to the U.S. Trade Representative. As President Trump escalates trade tensions with Canada, Mexico, and China by imposing tariffs, Tesla fears it may face disproportionate impacts, particularly on exports of its electric vehicles. The letter emphasizes the need for the U.S. Trade Representative to consider the downstream effects of trade actions, as past tariffs have already increased costs for Tesla and made it less competitive internationally. The timing of the letter coincided with a public display of support from Trump, who announced his intention to purchase a Tesla, amidst a backdrop where Tesla's stock has significantly declined since Trump's presidency began, and the company has faced various forms of backlash. Al Jazeera highlights British Prime Minister Keir Starmer's commitment to strengthening Ukraine's security in the face of ongoing Russian aggression. After a virtual meeting with global leaders, Starmer outlined plans to bolster Ukraine's defenses and prepare for a potential peacekeeping mission should a ceasefire be established. While Russian President Putin has tentatively agreed to a ceasefire proposal, he has raised concerns that could delay its implementation. Starmer's remarks reflect a sense of urgency as he calls for a robust response to ensure a lasting peace, emphasizing the need for military and financial support for Ukraine amid continued fighting. The South China Morning Post emphasizes Starmer's insistence on maintaining pressure on Putin to secure a ceasefire in Ukraine. During a virtual gathering of the Coalition of the Willing, Starmer underscored the importance of concrete commitments from world leaders to support Ukraine militarily and financially. He criticized Putin for playing pointless games with the ceasefire proposal, urging immediate action rather than prolonged discussions. As the situation on the ground remains tense with Russia gaining momentum, Starmer's leadership alongside other European allies aims to reinforce support for Ukraine and ensure that the international community stands firm against Russian aggression. Al Jazeera reports that the Trump administration is contemplating a new travel ban that could impact citizens from 43 countries, categorized into 3 tiers of restrictions. The first tier includes 10 nations such as Afghanistan and Iran, facing a complete visa suspension. The second tier consists of 5 countries like Eritrea and Haiti, which would experience partial visa restrictions affecting tourists and students. The third tier involves 26 nations, including Belarus and Pakistan, which could face partial visa suspensions unless their governments address specific deficiencies within 60 days. This proposal follows Trump's earlier immigration policies and reflects ongoing concerns about national security. CBC highlights a unique rally in Elbow, Saskatchewan, where locals gathered to promote unity in response to U.S. President Trump's tariffs and threats. Joan Sagi organized the Elbows Up event, inspired by a similar rally in Ottawa, encouraging Canadians to visit and take photos in front of the village sign. The rally drew about 15 participants, bundled in winter gear, who posed while playfully throwing elbows, a nod to hockey legend Gordie Howe. Sagi expressed concerns about the potential economic impact of trade tensions on local farmers and businesses, emphasizing that the rally transcended politics and aimed to foster community spirit. According to the South China Morning Post, President Trump signed an executive order aimed at significantly reducing the operations of the Voice of America and several other federal agencies, reflecting his ongoing efforts to streamline government bureaucracy. The order targets agencies that fund cultural institutions and address homelessness, mandating them to minimize operations to the bare legal requirements. Trump's choice of Kari Lake, a former news anchor and supporter, to lead Voice of America underscores his administration's contentious relationship with mainstream media. The broader implications of this order could lead to significant job cuts and the cancellation of numerous programs, further reshaping the federal landscape under Trump's directive. CNN reports that UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has deemed Russian President Vladimir Putin's response to a proposed ceasefire in Ukraine as not good enough. Following a virtual summit with leaders from around 25 nations, including Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, Starmer emphasized the need for collective pressure on Russia to engage in negotiations. The summit came after Ukraine accepted a 30-day ceasefire proposal backed by U.S. President Donald Trump, yet Putin's ambiguous reaction has raised concerns. Starmer announced upcoming meetings of military leaders in the UK to devise strategic plans for maintaining peace if a ceasefire is achieved. He affirmed the commitment of Ukraine's allies to continue military support and tighten economic restrictions on Russia to weaken its military capabilities. As tensions escalate, with Russia gaining ground in the Kursk region, Starmer reiterated that peace hinges on Putin halting attacks and engaging in serious discussions, urging that the world is watching closely. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.
News breaks, buzz the ground, stories spin, walls come down, voices merge in the sound, faces mix in the crowd, broadcasters paint the scene, world events on our screen, every link a different theme, words collide in the stream, 6 degrees connect the dots, background stories more than us. the voices rise aloft. Truth unveils in every spot. Cultures clash across the globe, spin the threads in a strobe. Every story wears a robe, truth and lies in their code. Journalists dig real deep, secrets out, they don't sleep. Every angle they will keep, in the news we take a leap. New perspectives day by day, hidden truths come to play. In the background shades of gray, every story